Hey everyone, it's Took here, and what better way to start my first video than to do the fursuit tag. So I've been asked by a bunch of people on my local fur group, hey Took, why don't you do this thing? We're all gonna try and do it, so why not? Let's do it. So this is my Fursona Tag, and I'm going to be answering a few questions about them. So question number 1, what is the name of your Fursona? So my Fursona is called Tag, and yeah, Tag is my Fursona's name. Where did the name for your Fursona come from? So a lot of people have asked me, hey Tag, is your name from Lord of the Rings? Is that what inspired your name? And unfortunately it's not. I do love Lord of the Rings a lot, so if you want to pretend it is, yes. But the reason I chose this name is actually a far more boring reason. So I chose the name Tag because I really wanted a one-syllable name. So my last character, or my last fursuit, was called Lake. And I loved how easy it was to just have a name that was so short and so sweet and so easy to remember. So I wanted my main Fursona to be a similar kind of short and sweet kind of name. So I went with Tag because it's really easy to say. You can add it together like Tag, and that's kind of cute. And another reason I chose it was because it was one of the only 4-syllable names I could think of that wasn't taken on Fur Affinity. Which is a really boring reason, but I don't know, I wanted my short name. And I wanted it to be easy to remember, because the worst thing ever is commissioning a badge and your character's name is like 30 characters long, and I'm like, how is anyone going to remember that? No hate to anyone that does have a long name though, they are pretty cool sometimes, but I just wanted a short and simple name, so if I was making her a badge I wouldn't have to write out tons and that kind of thing. And hopefully if someone was like, hey, who made your fursuit, or what's your fursuit's name, I could be like, Tag. So it's quite easy to remember, hopefully. What colour is your Fursona and why? Hair, fur, eyes, etc. So my Fursona is, as you can see, quite natural colours. We got beige, we got like a light brown, we got dark brown and black for the ears, and then we got red for the horns and red for her tail. So I decided on natural colours this time, as all of my previous characters had been very bold and very bright. Like I had a character called Charvee, who was a fennec fox, and she was bright purple and bright orange, and then my character before that was a bright red and a bright orange dragon. And I was like, I've gone with all the bright colours for ages now, so why not make a more natural coloured character? And I really like Tag. I really like the colour scheme now. I still love my other characters, my old like sparkle sonas, but I kind of fallen into natural scheme a bit more, and I do really like it now. What is your Fursona's personality, and how does this compare to a real life personality? So, Tag's personality is very bubbly, she's very friendly, she's very kind of, hey friend, give me a hug kind of. She's like an excitable little fennec fox character, and I'd say this is pretty close to my personality in real life, except I'm really shy, so she's more of an outgoing kind of version of me. Like, I'm quite shy, so I usually don't approach people first, whereas Tag's kind of like, oh you, I know you, can I have a hug, that kind of thing. Whereas I'm kind of like, I see them over there, I hope they notice me and come say hi kind of thing. But yeah, Tag's basically a more energetic, more bubbly version of me. She's probably like what my personality was when I was a kid. I was such a handful as a kid, like I was really hyper all the time and that kind of thing, so I think Tag's more like that, whereas now I'm kind of like really shy, I don't want to bother people kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much her personality and how it compares. What is one item your Fursona owns that is significant to you in real life? So probably, I wouldn't say it's like an item that is very important to her, like it's It's not an item like, it doesn't have any backstory, but I've got a bandana that's covered in dice, and I am a massive fan of Dungeons and Dragons and like board gaming, and this bandana, it's orange and it's covered in polyhedral dice, which is what you use for games like Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just really pretty, and orange is my favourite colour, and I just love it so much. So that's probably it really. Yeah, it was pretty significant. Like, I've had so many good memories and made so many good friends doing Dungeons and Dragons at uni and stuff. So I don't know, I love it and it's awesome. So what is one thing you think you'd say to your persona if you met them in real life? So this is a bit of a weird question for me, because I kind of see Took as like an anthro representation of myself. So she's not really like a separate entity as such. But I think I'd just say thank you. Like, thank you for letting me enjoy the fandom the way I have. Like, becoming Took is so much fun, and I've met so many amazing people through the fandom. So I just say thanks. Thank you for letting me explore this weird other side of me, and for meeting so many really great people through being able to do that. So yeah, that's probably what I say to her. A bit deep there, but yeah, she's a big part of my life now really. Like, it's been good, and I can't wait for many more years of being a fuzzy animal and meeting cool. What's one thing your persona could say to you if you could meet? See, I think if Took met me, she'd just be like, hey, give me a hug, hi, that kind of thing. Or she'd be like, hey, do you have any watermelon? Like, I don't know, something chill, something funny like that. Nothing deep, just very like, I'd treat her like a big puppy. She'd be like, hey, hi, can I have some hugs? Can I have some watermelon? That kind of thing, I reckon. I'm not sure, but yeah, something like that. Something sweet. How has your persona changed over the years? So Took's quite new, so she hasn't really changed at all. The only thing that's kind of changed about her is that I couldn't decide whether the ends of her ears and the end of her tail should be black or brown. So I spent so long deciding this that I'd already got art of her commissioned that was brown and art of her commissioned that was black. So I kind of just ended up being like, hey, you know how cats in the winter, like black cats, in the summer they look more brown, whereas in the winter they look more black. So I was like, right, that's what her ear and her tail tips do. In the winter and the colder months they're black, in the summer they're brown, and that way I can have both. So that's what I did. That's about the only change. As far as personas go overall, I have been in the fandom a long time now, almost 10 years. I started off with a little dragon named Saffie. She was a bright orange dragon, and she was a feral dragon, so she was on 4 legs. So that's what I started with. That's kind of my roots in the fandom. And then from about 2009 to 2015, when I made Took, I had a character called Charvee, who was like a fennec fox. She was purple and orange, which are my 2 favourite colours, and she was really short and once again feral. So Took's my first anthro character, or my first anthro persona, and she's probably the one that's a bit closer to me as a person, like personality wise. Took hasn't changed much, but I have gone through a few personas. How long have you had this persona? So I've had Took since June 2015, and the reason I made her was because I was just getting into the real life side of the fandom and going to meetups and conventions and stuff, and I had just been to a sci-fi convention called DevCon, which is in Plymouth, and I went in a fursuit that I'd made called Lake, my old salamander character, and it was a really badly made fursuit. It was kind of falling apart. It was made of really cheap materials, but I had such a great time and I loved it to pieces. Like, I met so many new people, I met so many fairies, and I just had a great time, and I couldn't decide when I was there how to introduce myself, because I was wearing a costume called Lake, but I'd never really gone as Lake before. I'd never really seen her as my persona. So I was thinking, hey, like, I've kind of grown out of Charvee, I've kind of wearing Lake, but I'm not really that attached to her, like character to personality wise. So I decided, hey, when I get home I'm going to make a new Fursona. And I had something coming up in the next few weeks, which is called South Fur Camp, and it was a big furry camping event in Somerset, and I was really excited for it because I get to see tons of people that I knew from the sci-fi convention I went to, and I wanted to introduce myself to all the other furries there. There were like 50 attendees. I wanted to introduce myself as a character that represented me. So that's the reason I made Took, and that's why I made Took on that day. It was June 2015 because halfway through June 2015 I was going to South Fur Camp and I wanted to have a character that was me. So what species is your Fursona and why did you choose that species? So this question opens a massive bottle of worms because Took is a hybrid of 3 different species. She's a mountain goat, tufted deer, fennec fox hybrid, and I'll explain the significance of those in another video probably, because else I'll take up half of this video talking about it. But basically, character wise, ears are fennec, horns are mountain goat, little teeth are tufted deer because they're adorable. Her tail is fennec fox tail, so it's really long and curly. And she has hooves, like a goat or a deer. So yeah, she's just a mix of 3 animals that I thought worked well together and I thought looked really cute, and traits that I like in those animals. Like fennec foxes are quite hyper and playful, and then deer are kind of graceful, they're really beautiful to look at, that kind of thing. And then goats are quite silly and quite funny. I don't know. Personality wise, I think she's probably a mix of her species, to be fair. So the final question is, would you like to be more like your Fursona? And my answer to this question is probably yes. I'm very, very shy and I don't like to bother people too much, whereas Took's a lot more outgoing, she's a lot more confident. But yeah, I'm quite shy in real life, so I think it would be nice to be a bit more outgoing and excitable and that kind of thing. So thank you for everyone who's tuned in. I will probably be doing more of these videos soon. I've got a few videos planned for new furries or furries that are getting their first suit, and I've also got a few tour videos coming up where I show you some of the accessories and badges and kind of things that I like to use with my suit. So I hope you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Took out!